This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. I got to Moed. Just one little ha'ara. If you paid attention to the Kriyas HaTorah on Cholamayit Sukkos, you'll notice that every day begins Uvayim hashlishi, Uvayim haravi, Uvayim hachamishi, Uvayim hashishi. Every day is basically the same. Uvayim hashavi, except for there's one exception. The second day is Munach Ravi. Uvayim hasheni. You ever notice that? Interesting. Why is it that every day is Darga severe, except for the second day is Munach Ravi? Uvayim hasheni. Okay. So now there's an amazing gra. You need to know this gra. We know that how many bulls do you bring total on the Yom Tov of Sukkos? 70 bulls, connected the 70 nations of the world. Now, even though the Gra says in Shiur, even though there's 70 nations of the world, the two chief nations of the world are another two, Esav and Yishmael. Okay? So they're really 72. The Gra says whenever you have the number 70, there are always two at the lead. So for example, there's 70 members of Sanhedrin, and you have the Nasi and the Av Bezdin. Or you have 70 names of Hashem, but they're two heads, Ani v'Hoi. Whenever there's 70, there are two heads. So there's 70 nations of the world, but the heads are Esav and Yishmael. Now, did you ever notice that some days of Sukkot it says Seir Chatos Echad, and one day some days it says Seir Izim? On day 1, 2, and 4 it says Seir Izim. On day 3, 5, 6, and 7 it says Seir. Now, let's make a cheshbon. Says the Gra. Day 1, you bring how many bulls? What? Day 1, you bring 13, yeah? Yep. The kvasim are 14. Day 1, you bring 13 bulls. A total of how many bulls over the course of Yom Tov? 70. So on day 1, when it says Seir Izim, you bring 13. On day 2, when it says Seir Izim, you bring 12, that's 25. On day 4, that it says Seir Izim, you bring 10, total of 35. Seir Izim, who's the hairy, the goat? Seir Izim, Yishmael is called Seir Izim. Who's just Seir? Esav. So listen to this. On day 1, 2, and 4, it's Seir Izim, that's Yishmael. He's in charge of how many nations? 35. 13, 12, 10. 35. And then day 3, which is how many? 11. And day 5, which is how many? 9, up to 20. And day 6, which is 8, 28. And day 7, which is 7, 35. So Yishmael has his 35, 1, 2, and 4. And Esav has his 35. Day 3, 5, 6, and 7. How do you know you're supposed to jump 1, 2, 4? Well, they're all Seir Izim, right? But the Torah wants to give us another clue. On day 2, it says, not Darga Savir, Munach Ravi, go to day 4. That's why there's a Munach Ravi on day 2 to teach that you're supposed to jump to day 4 in order to know how many total karbanos Yishmael brings. However, there's another pshat brought in the Sefer Iyunim b'Mishnah Berurah, Reb Chizkiel Yosef Vayal, that he brings from the Chazon Ish. What kind of cow do you bring? What kind of parim? Young ones or old ones? What kind of meat is better? Young. Only on day 2 it says b'nei vakar. It says parim b'nei vakar. On all the other days is uvayim ashlishi parim ashtei asar uvayim arvi parim asara uvayim asheni parim. All the other days it says parim. Only on day 2 it says b'nei bakar, young. So maybe only on day 2 you bring young ones. Maybe the other days you can bring old ones. The Chazon Ish says no, all the days you bring young ones. How do you know? It's like this. On every day the Trop is Darga Severe, and on day 2 the Trop on Parim B'nei Vakar is Darga Severe, instead of on the day. To indicate Parim B'nei Vakar, you should extrapolate that just like Parim B'nei Vakar is Darga Severe on day 2, all the days that begin with Darga Severe are also Parim B'nei Vakar. So even the Trop, you learn out important limudim Okay, Rabbi say, have a wonderful Moed. Bracha v'atzlacha, have a great day. Kol tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.